And now, Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell Blanken. Tyler, happy Sunday. Our teams got last-second field goal dubs today. How you doing?
We did. I'm doing great. I'm doing great because of that. I'm doing great because I'm seeing you. Brad, the week was, man, it was so jam-packed. I remember everything and nothing at once. I forget that October in education is just a wild time. We're in the midst of everything. There's just so much happening, so many moving parts. Like you said, we have to celebrate the wins. Your Packers won on the game-winning field goal, as did my Cardinals. The New York Yankees, the jersey I am rocking right now, not in a very advantageous position, but Brad Winchester, they say in sports, regardless of the sport, a series does not start until the home team loses. I am embracing that. I'm ready to embrace the mess on this episode if needed. But I'm doing great, man. I can't complain. It's the last October episode for Gimmick Infringement this year. I'm so excited to get into all our topics. You know how we do. WWE, lots to get into there. AEW, The Bachelorette. I hear we have a new Someday When You Have Kids.
Sure do.
Miranda's youngest, most successful entrepreneur. I can't wait to hear about that. I'm so happy. We're going to get into it all. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. I thought about you the other day when I saw that walk-off grand slam.
Oh gosh.
In the same finish as Tigers legend Kirk Gibson. I don't care that he did that with the Dodgers. Tigers legend Kirk Gibson. That Freeman hit was something else, man. That was.
I told you I was watching that live.
Yeah, I bet.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was 10-inning Jones, and it was exciting. It was exciting to watch as a completely detached, emotionally fan. As I said, I was a Tigers fan, so am.
Did you see Jabari's tweet?
I did not.
Former guest friend of the show, Jabari Davis. He has we love Jabari, number one. Number two, bone to pick with our guy. He tweeted Shohei Ohtani standing on top of Lady Liberty, posing.
Oh,
this isn't a promo of the week. He deserved to. The Dodgers are up 2-0, but I have a feeling by the time we record next, that's going to change. Please
Tyler,
continue.
That's un-American. To tweet that in an election year, Jabari, why do you hate America?
Maybe he'll make up for it on A Prude Awakening this Friday. Episode 2, special guest.
He could.
Hope.
Shout out to Jabari. Man, we have so much to talk about. Yesterday it was a bit of a blur. Jess has been running around like crazy with Freya. We went into fall break and came out of fall break with jobs to do. My class has started. Freya started selling soap after making the soap to sell. Busy around here. Pretty exciting time. So I have a someday, so play the music.
And now it's time for
Someday.
Someday When You Have Kids.
Someday I can have kids.
Oh, Tyler, this young entrepreneurs thing that happened yesterday was over at the Paws and Claws Park nearby the Paws and Claws Animal Grooming Center Rescue Service. I don't pay attention to things. I do know that they're doing good work over there, and that Jess has told me that it is an organization to believe in that does good things. So I'm going to go ahead and say that part of it, even though I can't remember anything about it. Absolutely failing to embrace the mess. Freya, speaking of messes, Freya and Mom made a business decision this week for the entrepreneur, the young entrepreneur, program. I'm not really sure what to call that, but they do it every so often. All the kids get tees that are a part of it that are like these kind of reddish tees that say young entrepreneur on it. And the idea is that these kids get to go out and sell a product to the public, and they are not allowed to have help during the sale from parents unless absolutely necessary. They have to run the table. They have to count the change. They have to make the sale. Now, for the middle school, high school students, this is really cool experience. It's real life work experience. For a 7-year-old to be able to pull this off, Tyler, is pretty incredible. She walked them through what each thing was, told them it's $5 a piece. If you bought this, I'll give you this. You can use the app. You can pay in cash. You can do all of this stuff. Pretty remarkable to watch her out there. And Freya is definitely a social butterfly if you have her warm up, but she is incredibly shy. So I know at the beginning she was nervous, and by the end she was just doing her thing. The manager of the young entrepreneur category, because there's also a trunk or treat night, so they had like food trucks and a dance thing, and then people were using the park. And on the other side was trunk or treat. So it was away from all the young entrepreneur, so they could go do that and then show up and shop at there was 20 or 30 stalls set up for these kids. And it was cool. There was a quilting thing across the way. They were making little stuffed animal looking things that were crocheted, I think. One of the kids, a brother sister combo, had a bunch of different things, fidget toys, a homemade notebook. People were selling water and snacks and baked goods, and they did all of this. These kids created all of these different things. I just think it was so cool to watch her do her thing, and I missed it because I was home. I got there around 7:00 and wanted to stay for the last hour and help tear down and stuff. Was that the manager was walking around taking pictures of all the booths and all the kids doing their thing, and Freya convinced her to buy stuff. She was over there just to take some pictures, and Freya was like, "They're $5 a piece. Just smell them. It smells great. Try this one. This one's butter beer, and it smells like vanilla and butterscotch because that's what's in it. And here are the ingredients if you have any allergies. And we made it with this. And here's salesman, absolute salesman. Tyler, someday when you have kids, I hope you get to experience the growth and the really inventive, creative, cool stuff that your kid gets to do, because this was an all-timer for me. I wish I would have been more involved. I wish I didn't have stupid grad school. That is a blessing. I'm sure that blessing will be clear someday when I am old. And Freya, my kid, someday when I have kids, will be making a podcast about how her dad perished as a result of taking too many classes at once in his 40s.
Bandwidth Jones.
Yeah, what's that? In the words of Angela Wagner, former colleague at Marana High School, was in your room before you got there.
That's a Marana deep cut. I got you.
It is a Marana deep cut. We need to get one of those Wi-Fis around here. I need to get a Wi-Fi, and I think I'll be better suited to have that. I just can't say enough of how proud I am of her, about how great of a mother Jess is, about how cool it is the community rallied around all these kids. It was a joy through and through, and I hope you get to experience that someday when you have kids.
I love everything about that segment, Brad. I'm not surprised in the slightest that Freya was charming, what was successful in this endeavor. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I didn't realize that she had to do everything. That was part of the gimmick, if you will. Those are the rules to play, is that every interaction, counting the money, the sales pitch, hands off from the families. It's just on the young entrepreneurs to do. Wow. When she makes it to Shark Tank, we, myself and our listeners and viewers, will be able to say we knew Freya when. This is clearly the natural progression.
Yes, and if that gets us a longer sponsorship, nepotism, reverse nepotism, I suppose.
Reverse nepotism.
Even better. Listen, man, the little online app thing that they have, they basically set up it's like a kid's banking account, so that any transfers, expenditure, money being sent, money being received, whatever, has to be approved on the parent end of the app. And that's what we set her up with. Freya had seen it on.
You did mention an app. I was curious. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, you could see the QR code in the picture that I put up with her. People would just scan the QR code, and then they'd just be able to send her that. People were like, "Oh, I never used this before," but it goes to her, and it's sort of like she has money in a bank account. It's like a legit bank account. It just has parental controls. So the only thing mom had to do during that time was either tech support, because one bar Jones out there, or approve the transfer. So she would get the notification saying people want to send money. She just has to click accept, and that's it. Otherwise, Freya had to do the whole thing. It was 4 hours a very long time for 7-year-olds? Yes. Setting up at 4, starting at 5, and going from 5 to 8 was a grind for somebody at 7. So that last hour was squirrely, but she pulled through. When people came up, she was just like, let's go. It's time to work. She just really wanted to get into this Oreo. She kept taking these like sad little nibbles out of a single Oreo because she'd like walk back to it. Somebody would come to the table and she'd have to put it down. And go back
she's
up.
learning the business.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to supply the demand.
She was like, I want to go play in the park. And it's like, you're on the clock. You got 10 minutes.
Yeah, she got it.
No,
she understood.
You wait, then you punch out. I know you want to leave early. That we can't.
That's even tough for adults.
100%,
You know, on the recruiting end of things, you see adults get squirrely, myself included. I'm not immune to this. When it gets past that second hour, checking the watch, checking social media, or in Freya's case, just trying to enjoy some Oreos and or play on the swing set.
Yeah, and she did. Afterward, she got to fling around on the swing set for a little bit. I went and picked up some Italian sodas from Dutch Pros, headed home. Everybody ended the night very happy and tired. And I stayed home and played homemaker. I was trying to get homework done. I did not. I vacuumed everything. I cleaned everything. I did not feel right because everything was so messy. And it's, a great majority of it was my fault. So I felt like I got to go do this, take care of this. So I'm glad I hung back. I'm sad I missed it, but like ultimately I was there and I'm happy I got to be a part of it. But it was really, really cool to see. Proud of them. Proud of everybody.
Absolutely. Occasionally, not even occasionally, quite often, you'll have Freya posts, and I can feel your sense of pride through the screen.
Yeah.
And yesterday, as we record, last night, it was one of those days again. Shout out to Freya. That's amazing. By the way, this is probably unrelated, but final GI October episode. Halloween is this week. Brad, where does Halloween rank for you in terms of your favorite days, holidays of the years? Is Halloween making your top 3, top 5? I know it's a big one in the Winchester home, given Freya, your 7-year-old. How do you feel about the day?
I love Halloween. I like when we moved into a house for the first time, getting the chance to be the one that hands out the candy for trick-or-treating. It was great. It felt like an adult moment. You know what I mean? Like that's one of those, oh, I've arrived as a grown-up. I'm handing out the candy now.
I've never thought of it that way. That's true.
Well, it's like little things. Like when we moved into our first apartment, one of the first things I did was got a subscription to the Arizona Daily Star because I wanted a newspaper delivered to my home. I wanted that experience of being the homeowner who gets the paper in the morning. And like I hardly ever read it. I canceled the subscription because it was just collecting everywhere, like we had a fireplace at the time, so it went to use. But it was just one of those things, that handing out candy for trick-or-treating, decorating the outside of your house for something it's an experience. It's like, after you do it for a while, you forget that like, no, I have the opportunity here to go and put Christmas lights up on the outside of my home that I own. It's awesome. Halloween top 3, I would say. I'm not going to say top 2. Christmas number 1, far and away. After that, normally I'd say Thanksgiving, but I hate traveling. I want to see my family. I want to see my side of the family. I don't. I get to see Jess's side of the family, and they're great. I just don't like traveling. I don't like going up to Scottsdale. I don't. And we're going to be up there 2 days or 3 days before. We're going to be up in Glendale watching Raw, and then we're going to come back, and then it'll go Tuesday, Wednesday, and we're driving back up there again. And I don't want to do that. But I'm excited to see Dana and Gordon, and hopefully Tristan and Harper, and Dana's family, and I don't know if Gordon's family's coming down or not, but excited to see them. But it's just always like the time in the car. I just hate the time in the car. If you would have asked me when I still lived in Michigan, 4th of July supersedes Halloween, supersedes Thanksgiving, 4th of July. Going to Ludington Park or Gladstone, Michigan, going to the lake, going to where like there's the 4th of July parade, there's live music, there's a beer tent, there's like carnival games, and just the whole city coming out to sit by the lakeshore, watching the fireworks explode over the water, where everything just sort of mirror images itself. It's so good. I cannot describe to you how much I miss that. And then all the other time there can go kick rocks. Like Give me the 4th and then get me the hell out of there.
I want this picturesque, unifying night. But then after that, the other 364 days.
Yeah.
We good.
December 24th, December 25th. I want snow. That's it. The end. I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out for the ball drop and then feel my balls shrivel into my body because it's 33,000 degrees below zero. That's balls. BALLS. Balls.
That's a clip. We are clipping that. That's at around the 15-minute mark. Very good. Maybe 16-minute mark after production, but neither here nor there. Brad, I agree with you about
balls.
Halloween.
Oh,
I agree with you about Halloween. Sneakily a top tier holiday.
Yes.
You can check out more of my thoughts at gimmickinfringementpod.com. Big shout out to Brad. If you have not been on the site, I need you at your earliest convenience to check it out. Total revamp with our new logo, with our new colorway. Brad has been putting in work, not just on the written side, not just on the production side, but the logistics, the tech of it all. Check it out. New article is up there. It is entitled Costumes. I reflect on what Halloween has brought to my life and why I think it's a really important day out of the year that we should put some more respect on. Brad, Americans spent $12 billion on Halloween last year. We get into the data. We get into the anecdotes. Check it out. I'm grateful for you. You did your thing on the website. You the man.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, ooh, I want to add to this. I want to talk about Halloween. You got me all motivated to want to do that. I'm not going to. I'm not pooping on your parade or peeing in your costume, but I am going to share my thoughts with you at some point. Really, really excited about that. The website gives me a great deal of joy. Hopefully it gives other people joy. I know you and I talk about it all the time about how important it is to us. Thank you all for supporting us, for supporting this show. We were nominated last year for the Sports Podcast Awards. We were a shortlist finalist. We don't bring it up enough, Tyler. I'm really proud of the work that we do around here. The guests that we've had this year, guests that we will have returning later this year. Super, super, super excited about everything going on with GI and with 19 Media Group in general. But we have not talked enough wrestling, so let's get into it. Tyler, hit me with your WWE question.
I agree with everything you said, and I am ready. LA Knight interfered in Game 7 between Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. I've got that pop tube. Triple H teased that we're getting the old Kevin Owens back. Naomi picked up another win, and Motor City Machine Guns shockingly won tag gold after the original Bloodline interfered. It's funny, last week we were kind of forecasting when they would win, if they would be the team, and here we are. They are the team. They did win, but regardless, we know that was a big deal on Friday night. And again, the original Bloodline interfered in that impromptu main event, costing 2.0 the victory. Of course, the show concluded with the reunion of the Usos in the middle of the ring as Roman Reigns watched approvingly from the entrance stage. Fill in the blank for us, Brad. SmackDown's conclusion left you feeling what?
Really good, really hopeful. I was trying to think about how 2.0, I was like, Daddy Magic was on the show? That was Angelo Parker?
Solo's 2.0.
Yeah,
It should have
Solo's
embraced much earlier.
I heard 2.0 and I was like, I didn't hear the word nipple on that show the entire time I was watching it, so I don't think he was there. So far, balls and nipple right out the gate. Good start by me. I felt really good after the end of it. Last week, I believe when we were talking about them winning the belts, MCMG winning the belts, I said, like, if they beat the Bloodline, it's going to have to be a team effort where the original Bloodline interferes. That would likely be when the Usos reunite. That's what happened. Roman looking on has not reconciled with Jay yet. That's going to be incredibly interesting going forward. I don't know what happens there. Does Sammy come in? Because last time we saw them, Sammy was acknowledging Jay as the tribal chief. And it's just, I'm so interested in this. I felt great about the ending. Notice the emphasis of this episode. There's a thing in the middle I have a question about for you, but I'll leave it for my question. How did you feel?
Yeah, I felt ready for Survivor Series.
100%.
It's going to be amazing.
Can't wait to skip Crown Jewel.
That is the thing that's happening this weekend. Yeah, I thought about should I mention Cody Rhodes and Gunther or any of that? I said no. I'll mention Kevin Owens. We're getting the old Kevin Owens back, but I don't think I'm going to watch this Saturday. Daniel Bryan called me out years ago, Brad. I'm a fickle fan. I say I'm not going to watch, but then it's a Saturday matinee. I'm avoiding U of A football right now. ASU may be on, so maybe I don't plan on watching it as of this recording, but we will see what happens. I am feeling ready for Survivor Series, the later PLE in WWE's November calendar. I'm so interested to see if we're going to get The Rock at that show.
Yeah.
I think we have to. I think that would be extraordinary. It wouldn't be too soon. I need it, but I'm ready, man. Like you said, Roman and Jay reconciling. Fair to say we can safely assume Sami Zayn is going to be inserted and be the fourth member of the potential Survivor Series team for the OG Bloodline. That to me is going to be as euphoric of a reunion as Jay and Jimmy and Jay and Roman. So it's I'm ready. It's going to be fantastic. One should hopefully, fingers crossed, lining up to be one of the biggest Survivor Series I would say of our generation. This is going to be big time.
I can see the three of them having a problem with the other four in the Bloodline and having Sammy run out to help since he's not exactly doing anything right now. Paul Heyman's return has to be when he puts the thing over Roman's head. I can never remember the name of that.
Yeah, the Ulafala.
Yeah, the Ulafala. Thank you.
We didn't even discuss the Bloodline. I forgot. No. I'm sorry. The Wise Man. I forgot the Wise Man. You remembered him, so thank you for remembering an important cog in the best storyline and maybe in WWE history.
I feel like if there is a beatdown or if there's a showdown and it's 3-on-4, maybe that's when the Wise Man walks out and says, I got some help. And then Sammy runs out. I think that would be War Games though, right? That's the War Games match.
100%.
I could see them trying to do something else. I don't think Sammy's going to get involved with all this KO nonsense. If they do, it'll be a backstage thing, but I think they're done with their feud forever. There might be some like testiness there between each other, but I think they just leave them alone. I want them to stop. Like I think
they have to, especially if we're getting Ciampa versus Gargano.
Yeah.
To me, way too similar.
Well, all the stuff with New Day, all the stuff with DIY. Right. There's just too many potential breakups and feuds within that. They're teasing heel Randy again. So like Triple H saying, I think this is all a swerve. Triple H saying that KO is going to be the old KO when he's like, no, this is the first time KO has been an asshole and he has a point. Where Randy, I think, is the one that's going to turn. The way he held that belt when he gave it back he was eyeballing it. I mean, it's Randall, so we'll see. I don't think they can turn Randy. If anything, it's going to end up being Cody because Cody's here for a much longer time. I just don't know if they could turn either of them at all right now. They might want to turn Randy. I just don't think the crowd's going to care. I think they're going to be like, all right, we're cheering this man anyway because he was gone and he came back. You know,
yeah. This year, the song has really become a part of the Randy Orton experience. We've had this song in our lives. I hear voices in my head for years.
Yeah.
But now it's drawn out. The crowd sings it. Randy mixes his posing with certain aspects of the song that he wants to emphasize. I agree with you. If they do that, not to say you can't sing a heel song, but the presentation is so much rooted in his entrance right now.
Well, I think you could go back to the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Changing the music is the only thing you could do to make Randy be a heel at this point. They cut Edge's hair, gave him a new song, and put him in a suit. And that made him a heel.
Some purple lighting as well.
Yeah. And then he got beat down inexplicably way too quickly. That whole thing was booked so poorly. And then he was injured for a while or gone for a while and then back and then gone and then back and then gone and then back. It was very confusing. But I can see them doing something kind of similar with Randy here. Maybe they bring back Burning My Light for a bit and go like Evolution Randy. I would love to see that. I think that would be, I love that song. So, well, I will see what happens, man. I don't know. But my question for you, my friend, is very similar related, but I have a different way of doing this. I decided to theme my questions this year. you'll understand. MCMG are the new tag champs and an absolutely loaded SmackDown as we head to Crown Jewel with Randy calling out Triple H about a match with KO. Imperium getting involved with Cody and Gunther, and Randy hinting at a heel turn against Cody. Tyler, trick or treat? The booking of this angle so far.
Brilliant. Wow. Brilliant. Your question, your phrasing. Perfect Halloween theme throughout this episode. It's what we do. I'm going to say treat. Treat, for sure. During this Cody run, we have to get the Randy feud. I thought we were actually going to get it much sooner, but kind of laying the groundwork, giving us those hints at it, totally here for it. The Cody versus Gunther match should be awesome, number one, this weekend. I think it could be a future WrestleMania main event. But to kind of tease that within this match that we're going to get on Saturday, whether I watch it or not, it should be a well-worked bout. Treat. I'm here for it. I love it. And you pointed this out in the last question, Brad. For KO and Randy to kind of be giving us this shades of gray, we don't really know who is clearly defined. I think WWE could use more of that.
Yeah.
Treat.
Awesome. Great response. I agree with you. I think it's treat, but it's like, for me, it's candy corn. I don't really want it, but it's not trick. Here's why. I want the Randy Cody part. Oh, I want the Randy Cody part. That's the treat.
For sure.
Get Imperium out of my life with this angle. Gunther and Cody is enough. I just feel like they've already overbooked this nonsense and it hasn't even started. It doesn't need it. You have the two champions. Why do you have to make Gunther the longest reigning Intercontinental champion ever?
Right.
Such a baby that he needs help.
Yeah, he should never need help.
That
exactly.
Ever. Simply ever. I don't care if it's against Cody Rhodes, who overcame Roman Reigns. I don't care. He didn't need help in the Rumble. It's just dumb.
Everything about his character screams from day one he doesn't need help. This is our conversation often about heels.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just better.
Sometimes they're just better.
And that's okay. They don't need low blows. They don't need interference or anything fugazi. They are just that good where they beat the heroes we're rooting for. And Gunther is the personification of that. He's just one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. And you can't beat him.
And the fact that his entire promo was, I'm better than you in all aspects of this. I'm just better. And then needed help made me furious with rage. And then Randy came out and I was like, okay, this is teasing long-term. This is going to be great for Crown Jewel. It just feels like rushed sloppiness and I don't like it.
And isn't that how Gunther obtained the title to begin with when he faced Damian Priest? That Finn Balor interference?
Yeah.
We don't need to repeat that.
Exactly. So I'm good. I'm good with this. But the long term with Randy and Cody, it's definitely a treat. I'm here for it. That's legacy. That's so much stuff that's calling. Man, we're going to be feasting this year. By the Royal Rumble, by Survivor Series, it's really going to take off. I feel so good about the end of the year for WWE right now. I just, setting up the card for Crown Jewels felt a little icky. The Randy KO storyline makes a lot of sense to have that happen. So I'm here for that. I just don't need Gunther having to get help from his cronies to win a match when he is Gunther.
Exactly.
That's it.
Before we leave the WWE combo, this is where I break the rules and slide in one more question. Ooh. Samantha Irvin.
Oh, yeah.
Exiting the company. I was going back.
Miss,
I was going, I did have it in my what did we miss notes. And we can certainly table it for then. But I feel compelled to ask you, her exit, she put out a message on social media announcing that, she has left WWE and thanked the fans and really, thanks so many people she worked with and even just the company, the organization as a whole for the opportunity and all the memories. Obviously, there's been a lot of, I don't want to say fallout on social media, but just a lot of opinions, a lot of tweets, a lot of emotions expressed about how.
A lot of dumb ones. Yeah.
Certainly. A lot of people are giving Samantha her flowers, which we love. And then also what you said, Brad. Before we move on to Batch Talk, Samantha Irvin leaving WWE, fairly shocking. We're super excited for whatever is her next venture. What do you think about the week that played out with the departure of one of our favorite talents in WWE in a long, long time.
I thought it was fine. Like, I thought it was sudden, and she didn't get the send off that she deserved because she did just sort of go, but she got a send off. She was thanked by WWE. The door is obviously still open if she decides to return, but she said it's not what she wanted to do. She enjoys it, but well, she didn't even say she enjoyed it. She just said, like, I don't want to do it. It's one of those things, Tyler, I think where, we've talked about it, and you and I, well, we're teachers. Some students are excellent writers, but they don't want to do it. They don't enjoy it. They don't want to do it. Just because you're really good at something doesn't mean you enjoy that thing. My father-in-law did body work for, 20 plus years in a body shop that he owned. He didn't like doing it. He was good at it. He's very good at it. He repaired my car at one point, I believe. I think it was my car. And he's done a bunch of other work, and I've seen it, and it's great and very good at it. Hated it. So just because you're proficient at a thing, just because you excel at a thing, and in her case, just because you're one of the all-time best to ever do it, I don't even say that's an opinion at this point. She's maybe the greatest.
Not hyperbole,
in my opinion.
Not hyperbole at all. We've seen enough. We've seen the body of work. Yes, I believe the consensus, the majority of wrestling fans would agree with you, Brad.
I can't.
Not even a hot take. It's just
I will never put her above the Fink, because for me, he was it, and Finkel is who defined that for me. His ring announcing was like, he was the guy for so long that he set the table for everybody that followed.
And she's even acknowledged the role that Fink has played in terms of being a source of inspiration.
And there's all the people that came after. There's the Dapper Yapper. There's her. There's all these different people that have done excellent work. There's I can't remember the name of the guy that did all the boxing stuff, that did WCW, the Let's Get Ready to Rumble guy. There's all of those
Michael
things.
Buffer. Yeah.
Michael Buffer.
His brother Bruce Buffer for UFC. Lillian Garcia, who's now back.
Which is what I was going to say. Lillian Garcia took over for Finkel, right?
Yeah,
kind of to transition between the shows, and then Fink got sick and then retired and passed. There's so many greats in the business, and it's not to sell anybody short. Finkel was like, oh, that's what that's going to be. You can't, it's when people change it that it becomes something else, but it's why for me, I know it's not for you, and it's like a dumb conversation to have anyway. For me, it's always going to be MJ. It's not going to be LeBron. And part of it is because offensive player of the year and defensive, whatever. I'm not going to get into that right now. Doing both is ridiculous. And the consecutive championships and all of those things. And he changed the game. There's nobody afterward without that dude. Are there people that have been as talented since? Probably. Are there people that have that same skill set? Yeah, probably. Would he be pedestrian in today's league? No, he would not be. He would still be one or two in the league. I am convinced, because he would figure it out. Because that's what he did, is he just outworked everybody and figured it out, just outdid everybody. That dude, though, set the table. He's the guy that set the table for marketing. He's the guy that set the table for doing ads and entertainment outside of that. I know other people did it, but not the way he did it and at that scale. I know Wilt did acting, and Kareem did some acting, and all those guys did some movies. And obviously MJ did Space Jam, which LeBron did Space Jam 2. LeBron doesn't do Space Jam 2 because there's no Space Jam without him. People were singing a song called I Like Mike because of him. The point is that Hanes commercial, the battery commercials, the branding for Jordan, the McDonald's commercials, all of that stuff happened because MJ was great on the court, and it translated into, oh, that's what it's supposed to be. Now think about this year. Full circle back to the WNBA conversations. We got women who got shoe deals, big shoe deals, their own shoe line, not just I will be wearing LeBron shoes this season. It's no, I have my own line of sneaker coming out, which is incredible. Skechers too, right? So,
including Skechers,
including
shout
Skechers.
out Rickea Jackson of the Los Angeles Sparks. Yeah.
So the point is that none of those things happen without that original, even if people are going to go like, who's better for all time? They played in different eras. So shut up. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Like nothing's going to change because you decided who's better. It doesn't matter. And I just want to appreciate the greatness while we have it. LeBron's only got a couple years left probably before he has to stop. He's the oldest player in the league. And at some point his body's going to fail. And that's just the way life is. So
his son is playing on the same team as him.
And it's really
another
cool
headline
to see
from
them
this week.
Together.
First time, yeah.
And that was awesome. That was so cool. Like hearing like the good jobs, like the very quiet, like, hey, good job. Do this, do that. I thought that was what a dream come true that has to be for that man. And for that whole family. It's just really, really, really great. But to have Howard Finkel be number one, and obviously not the first one ever, clearly not, but to be the guy that set the table as a sports entertainment announcer that later transferred to everybody else afterward. And then it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Like Finkel would just come out and sound like this. The following match is set for one fall. And he would like elongate all the vowels. And then to have other people come in afterward and then like give us a Gian Moxley from Justin Roberts. Those guys all started doing those things and it sort of crescendoed. And then you get Samantha Irvin, man. Like the way she said Roman Reigns is undefeated and will remain undefeated for all time. I don't think anybody will. This is such a long thing by me. This should be a promo of the week or just like you got to start playing Rambling Man every time I do this. I just think that if she wants to be a manager and if she wants to do those other things, the announcers usually don't get involved in storyline. And if she's there, she's got to announce because that's what they've committed to. And why wouldn't you? I would use her as an announcer forever if I could. But if it's like, no, we need you as an announcer. You're the greatest we've ever had. And she's like, I don't want to do that. There's not really an argument you can make to convince me that she's wrong. She doesn't want to do it. So she could easily go use that, the credentials and the connection with the fans and the audience to start her music career. She decides to pursue that. It sounds like that there are indications that might be the play here, but I can also see her doing that while being Ricochet's manager in AEW. That way she could stay on the road with him. But if she goes on a music career, she's going to have to travel anyway. So I don't think that's ever going to align the way that they want it to. But I just hope that she finds whatever it is she's looking for. She gave up a great job. Everybody knows that, which means that she's committed to this and she's committed to her beliefs. You got to respect it. And if you don't, you're missing the point.
You know how much, well said, you know how much I love betting on yourself stories.
Yeah.
In entertainment, in our own lives.
Shut up for AZ.
Thank you. Shout out for AZ. I love this for her. Like you said, very courageous decision, leaving seemingly a great job, I'm sure with awesome compensation and just a place where seemingly you're respected and beloved by millions upon millions of fans. But you're right, Brad. There's this
and colleagues.
And colleagues. There's something to be said for in our own various career endeavors when you laid it out perfectly in terms of what you're good at versus what you actually like to do. If she expressed, hey, this is something I want to do. It's not announcing, it's managing talent or becoming a general manager of a show. And that idea wasn't fully embraced. It wasn't turned, it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to come to fruition. Very impressive of her to walk away, still seemingly on good, respectful, cordial terms, but to say, this is what I want. I believe in myself. I'm perhaps going to make it happen elsewhere in whatever capacity that looks like. Big shout out to Samantha Irvin betting on herself. I'm sure this won't be the last time we discuss her on the pod.
Of course not. Yeah. Big treat. Big treat.
Big treat. Speaking of treats, Brad, there are just three episodes left in the inaugural Golden Bachelorette season. We got to recap hometowns. We got to prepare for the part one of the two-part finale. Let's get into it. It's time for a rose from me.
And now, for a rose from GI's most eligible bachelor.
All right, Brad. Joan visited the hometowns of this season's Final Four. Jordan, the 61-year-old senior sales exec from The Chi. Jordan did not receive a rose at the end of the episode. I know.
Crossing him off.
You got to. This was one of the strongest episodes of the season. The kickball episode is probably still my front runner, but the wholesomeness of hometowns is so good. I really, really like that one. The wholesomeness of hometowns during these golden seasons is something that I believe you enjoy. So Joan met kids and grandkids. Chalk is head over heels while we wait for Guy to drop the ILY. Maybe we'll hear him say, "I love you." Got to tune in. Pascal seems like a long shot, but I thought his family and friends were great. And for that, my rose this week goes to Pascal. I really want him to take this home, Brad. I'm solely rooting for Pascal to win, but I think he is definitively the underdog in this scenario. There are 3 episodes left, so we have the part 1 of the finale this week. Next week, we'll have the Men Tell All. And then finally, on November 13th, we'll, of course, have part 2 of the finale and after the final rose. Chalk seems destined to win, but that could just be the way they're producing and editing these episodes. I'm going to ride with Pascal till the wheels fall off. And the wheels could fall off this week, but I'm ready for it.
The storyline wheels or Pascal's? I'm just old people, I'm wondering.
Yeah, storyline.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, storyline.
Speaking of storylines, Tyler, AEW has some going on, so let's get into it. Hit me with your AEW question.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I've been holding this one, waiting for this moment, Brad. One of the strangest dynamites of the year. I've actually been to the University of Utah. Very beautiful, beautiful place, but strange dynamite. Some of the pacing and production felt off to me. The booking, notably Chris Jericho's win over Mark Briscoe, had much of the timeline, maybe all of the timeline in a frenzy.
Continue. I'm gonna sit over here.
I know you have thoughts. Rest assured, I'm not gonna ask you about that, but would love to hear your thoughts regardless. Or we can act like it never existed and move on. Your choice. However, this coming Wednesday's Dynamite Fright Night card is loaded. I hope we're getting Bobby Lashley's debut, a big Chris Statlander victory over Camille, and I also hope Private Party's coronation. That being said, I caught Rampage and some of Collision, for which there was something I loved. Ricochet had his best week in AEW to date. He picked up 2 wins, received significant promo time, and is on a collision course with Takeshita for November's Full Gear pay-per-view. I am very excited, and I believe you are too. My question: what is Ricochet's ceiling in AEW?
World champion. So easiest question you've asked so far. Easy. So Leo Rush, Ricochet. Yes, please. Hey, don't overlook that. And don't overlook me. Ooh, yeah, give me that now. That match is going to rule so hard. Oh, I can't wait for that. Yeah, man, like it's pretty easy. His mic work is good because he doesn't sound like he's rehearsing. It sounds like he's shooting from the hip, and it just sounds like he's saying what's on his mind. The way he talks, instead of I have to now figure out this script and make it work, which he wasn't great at, which is probably why they didn't give him a lot of dialogue in WWE. When they let him be Ricochet, he is awesome. Like awesome. Yeah, man, I think the sky is the limit, literally, for him.
He's out of this world for a reason.
Yes.
I wasn't sure how you were going to answer this. I completely agree. And granted, I'm not objective when it comes to most things or all things Ricochet. But based on this presentation, and we've seen this time and time again, Brad, in AEW, I know I've been worried at times when they bring in new talent, they sign new talent. There's those initial few months where they're heavily pushed. They have a pay-per-view match, usually against a champion. They rack up enough wins, just like Ricochet, where they get the pay-per-view match. But then what comes after that? See Deonna Purrazzo or any number of people you can name who came in with hype, had a great debut, but then 3 to 4 months later, what's going on? This presentation of Ricochet so far, number 1, the in-ring work. Number 2, the promos. He just seems so loose. And when he does that wave motion and hits the drop kick, it's just, he just seems so happy and
Yeah.
so free. And if this goes as well as I expect it to, I completely agree with you that he could be challenging for the world championship.
The counters in that match, oof, man. Anyway, I'm going to move on.
The match versus Nick Wayne, the Ricochet's new finisher,
That's what I'm
the
saying.
reverse sort of hidden blade. It's money. Vertigo into that. I don't know if we have a name for it yet. It's giving. It's giving a lot.
That match was great. That was so much fun to watch. Tyler, I thought you were going to take my question because this is what I have. Sammy and Shelton Benjamin, they had a really fun match. They were getting the "This is awesome" chance, the treatment. Kyle Fletcher got a haircut. Jericho won the ROH title and chewed up a big portion of an AEW television program for an ROH title for no reason. House of Black won in 0.4 seconds. However, Fright Night Dynamite is this week. Swerve and Shelton Benjamin, Camille and Statlander, Adam Cole and Buddy Matthews. That's going to rule. But the Young Bucks are facing Private Party. And if Private Party loses, they have to split up. That is the stip for this match. Tyler, trick or treat. Private Party wins the titles.
I see what you did there. Major treat, treats for all. I have not even considered the possibility of
silly string into the ring afterwards.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've not even considered the possibility of Zay and Mark losing this match. This, if anything, possibly something Fugazi will happen, and then they'll run. I think they're running this back at Full Gear.
I agree.
One way or the other. I've said this on air. It's going to be in Jersey, stone's throw from New York, where they grew up. I think it's happening at the Pape regardless, but I would love for them. It feels like the moment is deserving of the pay-per-view, but they can't lose this Wednesday, Brad. I know there's been teases of Zay maybe breaking out as a single star. He's got Stokely in his ear. I think that's just to throw us off the scent of what's really happening, which is Private Party dethroning the Bucks and having their biggest moment thus far in 5 years with AEW. Major treat. Super excited for this match. I want to hear what you think, and I want to know, is this going to open Dynamite Fright Night? Is this going to close? How do you think they play this?
Man, that's tough. Tony Khan seems to like, if they're going to call it Fright Night, probably going to end with a trick or treat thing, right? Like we're either going to get something or we're going to have something taken away from us. If it opens, I think no matter what, first of all, treat, but I don't know. I think the way that they'll play this is probably Private Party won't lose. They'll win, but DQ win. So they don't win the titles. One of those things, so that then they have to run it back later on. And I think Stokely costing them the match makes a lot of sense. So in some fashion, or maybe they do break them up in some silly way for no reason. I don't know. For all we know, one of them is injured and they I have no idea. I'm just trying to talk through it. I can't see a way where they lose. Even though they can run it back again, I can see them winning the belts, having it like, no, we want our rematch and it's going to happen at Full Gear, and them retaining. Exactly. I can totally see that. That way they're doing it.
To me, that's the optimal. Yeah, that's the optimal outcome, not Fugazi and then run it back at Full Gear. Let's just crown these guys. Let's just have the moment.
Yeah.
It would be great if it were in New Jersey, the coronation, but it's still super cool for them to walk in as champs and then leave Jersey as champs. I'm here for it.
I can also see them like having to fight. There's a murderer's row of tag teams in AEW. And I don't mean like just Top Flight. And I don't mean like the Acclaimed. I mean like the Kings of the Black Throne are right there. And you got FTR there. And you got potentially United Empire at some point, hopefully. Mark Davis is healthy enough to come back.
Maybe by February. The Grand Slam Australia, Tony beats Mariah. If healthy, United Empire probably beats Private Party.
Yeah, so but before then, a Private Party is going to be probably tearing through kind of the people that I mentioned, Top Flight, maybe Action Andretti and Seidel or something like, you know what I mean? So it'll be things like that. But if they can give them a run where they're beating FTR and they're beating some other teams, like, do that, please. Otherwise, they're going to have to, if they don't beat the Bucks clean, I think they're going to have to like do those kind of matches back to back to make them feel like they've earned it to the audience, even though you and I will go like, how could they earn it more? They've earned it more than anybody in this company at this point. And I just need to see them with those belts. Finally.
One thing I did enjoy, there was one thing I did enjoy from Dynamite, Tony Schiavone doing the flex on him dance.
Yes.
During the entrance. That popped me.
Yeah,
I found that I still don't know how I feel about Private Party's new theme, but it is catchy and clearly Tony Schiavone likes it. I don't know if I've told you this, Brad. Tony Schiavone reminds me so much of Steve Davis, veteran, legendary Marana High School English teacher. And I love Steve Davis. Thus, I love Tony Schiavone, and the song is growing on me. I loved him hitting the flex dance. That there was one thing I did enjoy for that. It was that
personality wise, it's definitely giving Davis. Big time.
Right?
Yeah.
The all of it. The personality, the being well respected by your colleagues, being just seemingly just a really good, stable person. That's Steve, that's Schiavone. Love Steve. I don't know if he watches Gimmick Infringement, but I know you will see him this week. Please send my best.
No, I'm almost positive he doesn't. Tyler, what did we miss?
He's the man. Yeah, we missed a few things. So I'm going to my list. Obviously, we checked off Samantha Irvin. I'm glad we dedicated significant time to that conversation about where she's at. 3 items for you. TNA Bound for Glory. I watched this show. They have that discounted end of the year special. It's $35 currently through early January. So that will get you not only the weekly show and their catalog, history catalog, etc., but you'll also get Final Resolution, I think one of the live special. So that being said, I decided I wasn't going to subject myself to watching the University of Arizona's football team for 4 quarters or like 3.5 hours because college football games are super long. So I decided to pivot to Bound for Glory. Really great show. Masha Slamovich defeated Jordan Grace. She's the new Knockouts champion. Nick Nemeth defeated Joa Hendry. Controversial decision. John Layfield interfered. Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Random.
Very random. And Speedball and Vikingo had a great opener, by the way. And then the main event, the Hardys were coronated. They won Full Metal Mayhem. Big deal. Lots of celebration. Proper way to end this show. I don't know if it was a great show. It was a good show, but really happy for Slamovich. So that's number 1. Other 2, Brad Winchester. The Indiana Fever parted ways with head coach Christy Sides after 2 seasons. Surprising news today. We'll see what becomes of that. And last but certainly not least, most importantly, Arizona ballots are due in the mail tomorrow, October 29th. Please make sure you're voting, whether it's early voting, whether it is on the big day a week from tomorrow on Tuesday. Please make sure you exercise your right. It matters. It matters. It matters.
Well said. It's what I had on mine too. I sent mine out a couple of days ago. I have voted. It is done. Felt good. I did my part. Everything else is not up to me. It's up to the people of the state and of the country to make the right choice. What else did we miss here? I wrote some stuff down. I had Samantha Irvin on there. We already talked about Samantha Irvin. We had one other thing. There was one other thing, Tyler, and I'm drawing a blank. Oh, Robert Saleh was at the Packers practice. I did not know that he was best man for one Matt LaFleur, head coach of the Green Bay Packers, and he has been hired on as an offensive defense consultant. So he's working with the offense to try to overcome defensive packages rather than working for the defense, because the defense has been pretty good this year in Green Bay. And he's like, I don't want to interfere with that, but I'm going to hire my friend because he's got a brilliant defensive mind to work with the offense and have them try to get around things. So really, really cool. Really excited for the football teams. And the Detroit Pistons, Tyler, given the Boston Celtics all they can handle through 3 quarters, and then I stopped paying attention. I want my heart broken. I didn't even see what the outcome of the game is. I kind of already knew before I went to bed what was about to happen, but I don't even know if it did happen. No idea if they even won. I saw 3rd quarter. I was like, I'm going to go. They're down by 1. I'm going to take my win and walk away. Cade's been on one.
Smart fan.
Yeah.
It's possible to both honor your passion for your teams, but also protect your happiness and your sanity. And yeah, just go out while you're ahead and while things are good. And that's all we need.
That's right.
You can follow us at GIPod19 for exclusive show updates and much more. We thank you all so much for being here. Enjoy your Halloween. Be safe. Have fun. And we will see you next week. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.